Hello viewers, welcome back. So this is part 6 of our series of sessions on Tally's bill-wise detail feature. Okay. So in the last session, we understood what are the advanced configuration that we can do, or the configuration which could automate your better management of your receivable and payable management. So we saw how you can set up. We understood, so we did not see in Tally. So in this session we will be seeing in Tally how are we going to configure and see the result of those configuration. So one is that we discussed that 4 points we discussed in the last session. One is setting up of default credit period. Number two is setting up of credit limit. Number three is the warning or message for the overdue bill while raising an invoice. And number four is, in case if you have received any PDC check, you are asking Tally to consider that as amount received for the consideration for your credit limit. Okay, so now let's just go to Tally and then see. So now first I'm going to show you in TallyPrime. Again, the if you see, as far as the capturing of information and passing of the transaction is going to be same in TallyPrime and in Tally.ERP. Like we have seen almost every master creation transaction, everything, it's going to be similar in Tally.ERP and TallyPrime. But enabling of credit limit, there is a slight variation in the in the place where you go and configure for you to get this option of enabling credit limit. So I'll be showing you that what is that you need to do for enabling the credit limit in TallyPrime, and also we will go to Tally.ERP, and then we will see where do we go and configure for enabling the credit limit. First, we will start with TallyPrime. So now, first let us see again. We will take the same use case that we used in our previous couple of sessions, taking one particular party so that we will see all this configuration. So we will take the same use case of the customer India Mart. Okay. So first, let's go and see what is the outstanding of India Mart as on the current date. So for this company, if you see, the current date is 6th of December. So how do we now go to the outstanding of the ledger of India Mart in TallyPrime? We know we can now use our secret number 3. You really don't have to go through the menu route. Okay, so all you need to do is just press Alt G and then type ledger, and then one ledger voucher is going to give you your transaction, and outstanding is going to give you bill wise detail. Okay, so ledger outstanding. So Tally is asking me which ledgers outstanding that you want to see. So I'm going to type India Mart, enter, and this is what you are seeing as on 6th of December. So there are two bills pending. One bill is already overdue, which was supposed to be cleared by 2nd of December, if you see here. And since your current date is 6th of December, it also, Tally also mentions that this particular invoice number 17 is overdue by 4 days. And there is another invoice which was raised on 6th of December, and 16th December is going to be the due date, right? So the due date is going to be 16th December, so which means it is not overdue. And again, in my previous session, I had mentioned that the bold indicates that that amount is overdue, and the normal font is it is outstanding, but it is not due as on the current date. Okay. So now, if you see, the total outstanding of India Mart is 95,000 rupees. So now, the now let's say in this company, the owner has decided that okay, so now he wants to set up credit limit for each of their customers. so that they are not risking with too much of an outstanding, which becomes again a major issue for collecting the outstanding amount. So now, how are we now going to set up the credit limit? And also, let us assume that we want to set the default credit period for this particular customer. Okay, so you will set up this in the ledger master of the parties account. Now this again, the same logic will be applied for your sundry creditors also. Okay, so how are we now going to go and alter the master, right? So again, in Tally Prime it is very simple. So all you do is just press Alt G. Now when you go to Alt G, you have on top, just above the common report, there are various other actions that you can perform. So one of that is, it says alter master. So I can select alter master, enter, and then which master I want to alter. I want to alter the ledger master. And which ledger I want to alter? India Mart. I have selected India Mart, press enter, and this is your ledger master alteration screen, right? So one is that you have by default, you will have this default credit period enabled here, right? So one, yes, maintain bill by bill, we are saying yes. And default credit period, I'm going to say that we are going to give him 30 days as the default credit period for this particular customer, so that now every time when I'm invoicing for this customer, my credit period or my due date is going to be considered, considering the 30 days as the credit period. Okay, now we want to set up credit limit also, right? So if you see here, there is no option where or there is no field where you can specify the credit limit. So how do we now enable this? So remember your secret number 2, very important. Okay, so any option that is not currently available in the particular screen, so remember to use your secret number 2, which is your F12. So I'm going to press F12 here. And there are so many options. If you see, for the party master, you have so many options. Apart from this, apart from these options, you also have something which says show more configuration. First, let us see whether uh, the configuration that we are looking for, whether it is available here. So that means we want to enable credit limit for the party account. Okay, so I will in fact, I'm planning to have a separate session on the each of the configuration and the impact of this configuration for each of the master. I will be having a separate session. Okay, so now first we have to see that where is the option that I can enable for credit limit. So provide language alias is not there. Provide opening balance. Provide mailing detail. Provide contact detail. Okay, so still the credit limit is option is not there. So remember that it says show more configuration. So click on show more configuration. Just press Y, enter, and now you have more configuration coming up, right? So here, if you see, there is this option called provide credit limit, where it is no. So that is why you're not getting that field for you to specify the credit limit. So you come here and then you press yes, Y for yes, enter, and then press Control A to save this configuration. And now you have this option called specify credit limit. Okay, so we have given 30 days credit, and this is what is the option that you have to enable for Tally to give you a message of all the outstanding which are overdue during your invoicing, during your invoice voucher entry. So check for credit days during voucher entry, you make this as yes. So we will see all this impact. Okay, now it says specify credit limit. Okay, so I'm going to say 2 lakh is the credit limit that I want to specify for this customer. Okay. The next option, okay, the fourth option that we saw in the previous session, override credit limit using post-dated transaction. So do you want to override? So it says very clearly, it's very easy for you to understand. Do you want to override the credit limit? That is, the credit limit that you have specified is 2 lakh. Do you want to override this credit limit? In case if you are having any post-dated check, consider that to override the credit limit. So that is what is this option. So let's make this option also yes. Okay. So these are the four options: default credit period, check for credit days during entry, specify credit limit, and overriding uh, credit limit using post-dated transaction. So I'm going to press Control A and escape. So let's come to the voucher entry. I can do that through Alt G itself, right? So now we are going to come to the voucher entry screen, voucher entry, and we just now saw that there is one bill which is overdue already as on 6th of December, and there is another bill which is going to be due at a future date. Now let us say that you are now going to raise another invoice for this customer India Mart on let us say 1st of January. Let's say you are raising an invoice on 1st of January. Okay, so 1st of January, enter. So you select your customer. Now you see what happens when you select your customer. So as on 1st of January, if you see, both the invoices are overdue. So let us see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to select India Mart, enter. The moment I select India Mart, if you notice here on the right hand side, Tally is giving you a warning saying that two bills of India Mart is outstanding, due date exceeded. So this is where it gives you an alert, so that now you can decide what do you want to do, whether you want to continue with this or get a commitment from your customer and then do this invoicing, so that you are not struggling to collect your outstanding amount. Okay. So this is the option of showing you during the voucher entry the credit days, that means the overdue amount. So this is why, by enabling this option, so which option that we are going to enable, one sec, hold on. Let me come back to India Mart again. Here my cursor is here on India Mart, and now for you to alter the master. Okay, so another keyboard shortcut, I don't remember if I had mentioned in any of my previous session. Nevertheless, for you to alter the master, just put your cursor in the master field and then press Control Enter. Control Enter is going to take you to Ledger Master alteration screen. The warning that you got, where Tally says there are two invoice pending, you get this warning when you enable this option of check for credit days during voucher entry. So I'm going to just press Control A, Control A, Control A, right? So it's already given the warning, right? So since now I'm in the alteration mode, or if we want to see this again, let's just quickly go back and then come here and then select the party India Mart, enter. It is just going to give you a warning. It is not going to stop you. Okay. So yes, now I know that, okay, there are two invoices which are overdue. It's okay. So now I'm going to press enter. So these are the sub-screen we will discuss during GST time. So we're going to select sales something, enter. And so what is the amount, the next thing that we are going to see? What is the amount that is already outstanding? Okay, so again, you really don't have to worry. So if you see here, India Mart, it is already telling you that the current balance is 95,000, which is outstanding, which both invoices are overdue. And it also tells you, so before you start your invoicing, you it gives you a clear information about what is the credit limit that you have set for this party. The credit limit that you have set for this party is 2 lakh rupees. That means basically you should know, if you want to complete this invoicing, you have to make sure that the total invoice value total invoice value including the tax amount and all the other charges. Okay, the total invoice value now should be not more than 1,05,000. So if it is to up to 1,05,000, it will now come to the full limit of your credit limit. So any amount exceeding this amount, Tally is going to give you a warning. We will see that. So let's say that we will take Dell i7. I'm going to take this Dell i7. He wants three numbers he wants. So when I do this, now the amount is the total value of the invoice itself is 2,25,000, which means literally it is exceeding the credit limit. Okay, so let's do two numbers. Okay, so 150 is the invoice amount. Okay, so enter. Okay, enter. Like I mentioned, the tax amount and all those things we will start capturing once we understand the GST module. Okay. Now, so my cursor is here. Just see what happens. Enter. Okay, new reference. Okay, I'm going to say it is new reference. Okay, and now here if you see, my 30 days automatically auto populated, which I had specified in the master. Okay, now it allows you to go and change the default credit period. So the default credit period is 30 days. So in case in this particular invoice, if you feel that this particular invoice you don't want to give him 30 days credit, probably because you have a lesser margin on this, so you want to reduce it to let's say 10 days or 15 days, you can go and change this. Okay, okay, so the moment I come back, it is going to bring from the master. Now let us say some of you might be thinking that, okay, then what is the point of me giving the credit limit at the master level, so that I don't want anyone to go and tamper with this credit limit. So 30 days is the credit limit. By mistake, if somebody goes and enters 45 days, customer is going to enjoy extra 15 days. Now, can I avoid this so that this nobody can do this, modify this during the voucher entry? Okay, yeah, there is an option in Tally. So what you do is you just come back here and your secret number 2, F12 configuration, right? So we have enabled all the configuration which is there. So if you see here, there is one option says modify all field during voucher entry, right? So because this option is yes, it is though it is auto populating your default value from the master, it is allowing you to modify, because you have enabled this option saying modify all field during voucher entry. Now if I go and make this as no, so I make this as no, and I'm going to press Control A, and then now let us see what happens. So I come to my new reference, enter, enter, and if you notice, are you noticing that my cursor from my invoice reference number, it is straight away jumping to the amount. It is not allowing you to change the default credit period, right? So like this, there are a lot of configurations that you can do in Tally, which, like I mentioned, I will have a dedicated session on each of these configurations. Okay, so 1,50,000. Now fine, 1,50,000, my everything I have given. But then if you see, the total value is exceeding my credit limit that has been specified. So what happens? Enter. Okay, so all narration I have entered. Now when you are trying to save this particular voucher, Tally is not warning you. It says that it's an error. What it says, credit limit of India Mart is 2 lakh rupees. Okay, and it is exceeded. So which means with this particular invoice amount plus the outstanding amount of 95,000, your current outstanding is going to become 2,45,000, and Tally says, so I am not going to allow you to save this voucher. Okay, so this is where it is. Now you try to accept, you cannot save this voucher. Again, the cursor is gone to your date field, right? So you press Control End, it comes to your narration field. Okay, again enter, again it is going to stop you, right? So what is the solution? So the solution is that, now let's say I am an accountant who is trying to do this, and now it is exceeding the limit. So what am I going to do? So now I go to my concerned senior, or I go to the proprietor, and then I'm going to say that this particular invoice of two numbers that we are going to supply, this total amount is going to exceed the outstanding. So what do we do? So now, as a owner, let's say I want to now take a call saying that, okay, fine, so let me increase to 2.5 lakh rupee the credit limit. So how am I going to increase? Again, you come to the right from inside the voucher. Okay, you don't have to go back and forth. Okay, so I'm going to press Control Enter. Okay, and then I'm going to come here, and then I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to modify this as 2,50,000. Now, see, we are working again. I'm reminding you, all of you, that I had mentioned in one of my previous session. We are working in no security company. So with the security company, there are a lot of controls that you can bring. Just like this, people cannot go and change it. So there are a lot of options that are there, where in the security control, the many controls can be specified. Okay, so I'm now changing this. I'm going to press Control A. Okay, Control A. Now I'm going to come here, enter. Okay, enter. Let us see what happens. So new reference. Okay, reference number 19. It is now, my credit period is skipping. It is not allowing me to change. Enter. Enter narration. Okay, now it is accepting. It is allowing you to save this invoice. Accept. It is accepted. Okay, so we saw three options in this particular transaction. Number one, the default credit period, and also we saw the configuration where if you don't want anybody to alter the default credit period during the voucher entry, so we saw the F12 configuration, number one. Number two, we also saw the configuration where we have enabled for checking of the overdue bill during the voucher entry, and the moment we selected the party account, we saw that Tally gave a warning saying that two invoices are overdue. It is going to show you only overdue invoice. If any invoice is outstanding and if it is not due, Tally is not going to consider that. Okay. Number three, we saw how to set up the credit limit, and we also saw how Tally is going to give you a message, error message, and will not allow you to save this particular voucher if this particular value and the outstanding amount exceeds the credit limit that you have specified. And we also saw that how you can go and modify the credit limit based on the proper security authority and all those things. Okay, so now the fourth option that we are going to see is that considering the post dated check, right? So now let's again come back to the outstanding. So again, you just press Alt G, use your secret number 3, and then type ledger outstanding. So select India Mart, enter, and now okay, so the first two invoices, which is again, it's become overdue because of the date change, and this is 1,50,000 is outstanding, which is not due because we have given 30 days credit. So which means 2,45,000 is the total amount outstanding, right? Now let us assume that the customer gives you, uh, for ease of understanding, let us say the customer gives you 1,45,000 rupees, okay, as a post dated check. Okay, and it says, okay, you adjust this 95,000 to these two outstanding invoice, and the balance amount you adjust to the invoice number 19, which we saw in the previous sessions. Okay, so let's make an entry. So 245, so 1,45,000 is what we are going to get. So we already in the voucher entry screen, so just press escape. Since we are in the voucher entry screen, I'm going to press F6, and let us say I'm receiving this on 31st of January, which is what is the current bill which is due. Any day you can account. Okay, enter. So credit India Mart. Okay, so 1,45,000 is giving, enter. So we are now quite comfortable with these method of adjustment and option. So bill number 17 is completely paid off against reference. Bill number 18 is completely paid off against reference. The balance amount, which is 1,50,000, so the balance amount of 50,000 will be adjusted towards my invoice number 19. Okay, enter, accept. Okay, so you've debited your bank account. I'm just going to press, please remember to enter the narration. I'm going to press Control A, and now let's go to the outstanding. So Alt G, ledger outstanding India Mart, enter. Okay, so now 1 lakh is outstanding. Oh, okay. One small thing that we did not consider is that we did not make that as a post dated check. So let's go to that particular transaction. So how do we go and alter? Again, you press Shift Enter. Remember this, Shift Enter. Go to this receipt voucher, and you say that this person is given you 31st date post dated check, but today your current date is 1st of January, right? So 1st of January is when we made this entry. So now, since this is going to be a post-dated entry, so I'm going to mark this, which we saw in the earlier session. So I'm going to mark this as post-dated entry, and then I'm going to save this because we have already adjusted against all this invoice. You don't have to worry about other aspects. So I'm just going to press Control A. Now, if you see, my current date is still 1st of January because I marked this as my post dated. Okay, and now it says as on today, as on 1st January, the total outstanding is still 245, but I have already received 1,45,000 as a post dated check, which means literally the outstanding is going to be 1 lakh. Now, what is the credit limit that we have specified for India Mart? We have specified the credit limit for India Mart as 2.5 lakhs. Okay, so 245 is already outstanding. Let us now try to make another invoice and then see whether Tally is considering this post-dated check that you have received, the option which we enabled in the master. Okay, so I'm going to press Alt G, create voucher, right? And then let us say we are going to make this invoice on 10th of January. Okay, so this is my current date. So I'm going to make an invoice on 10th of January, F8, India Mart. Okay, so it says that 2 invoices are pending because as on the current date they are still pending, right? So you have received money post dated, so it is still giving you the warning, no problem. So let's go ahead. Okay, and it also says that 2,50,000 is what is my limit. And if you see here, it is considered the post dated amount also here, and it says current balance is 1 lakh. Again, there is a configuration for you to consider this. You want to consider, don't want to consider, we will discuss that in the configuration part. So it says that, okay, so 1 lakh is what you are supposed to receive. You have a limit of 2.5 lakh rupees. Okay, and let us see when I'm going to raise an invoice. Okay, so again, I7, let us take 2 numbers, 1.5. Yeah. So 1 plus 1.5 is 2.5, which is my full credit limit. Okay. Enter, accept, new reference. It jumps here, enter, and then it is allowing me to accept. Right. So even though it shows as of my current date 245 is outstanding, now you are going to raise another 1.5 lakh, but still Tally is considered the post dated, and then it is now allowing you to accept this voucher. Accept this voucher. I have accepted this voucher, right? So now it shows as on today 395. So but then it is considered the post dated also. Now let us try and see, supposing if you don't enable to include post dated transaction for consideration of your credit limit, what happens? Will Tally allow you to pass this additional 1.5 lakh rupees, right? So what do we need to do now? It's very simple. We have to go to the Ledger Master of India Mart and then set that option, consider post dated check as no. Okay, so now again, you don't have to go into alteration and all those things which I showed you in one of my earlier session. Then just press shift enter, right? And then you come here, come to your sales voucher, because we will use the sales voucher and then see the impact. So now you come to India Mart here, press control enter, and you have this option, override credit limit using post dated transaction. Let us say we make this as no, and then see what happens. Okay, if I had not enabled this. Okay, so one, since I'm in the voucher entry screen, since I've selected the party, it again says there are 2 invoices pending. That is okay, not a problem. Okay, so I come to my sales, select my item. Okay, so here now I'm saying that I'm not considering the post dated check. Okay, enter, new reference, 30-day 150, enter. Okay, narration, enter. It stops you because it is not considering the post dated amount that you have received. It will look into your actual outstanding. The actual outstanding was 2,45,000, right? So which means literally you could have made an invoice only for 5,000 rupees, the difference amount of outstanding and the credit limit, right? So it is not considering post dated check. Okay, so I hope this is clear, right? The options, I would definitely want you people to start using these options so that you have better control over your receivable and payable management. Okay, now quickly let us come to Tally ERP, right? And then we will see, I'll just show you what is the configuration that is required for you to set up the credit limit. Rest everything is going to be the same. Whatever is the transaction flow that we saw, it is going to be the same thing in Tally ERP also. Okay, so let's just quickly go to Tally ERP, right? So I have the same set of transactions here. So I now we have to alter the master. So what we are going to do is that we will go to accounts info. Okay, you will select ledger, then you will select alter, and then you select India Mart, enter, right? So default credit period, if you see, it is already there. Okay, so there is no configuration required. By default this is available to you. You can set up your default credit period. Check for credit days during voucher entry. Okay, you can enter this, right? And let us say default credit period, I'm going to give 30 days. Check for credit period, enter. But then there is no credit limit, there is no overriding. So what am I going to do? How am I going to bring this credit limit? Okay, for this you have to remember that you have to press F11 feature, and there is this option called maintain budgets and controls. See, credit limit is a control. Okay, so again, budget is another feature in Tally, which again we will cover when we come to the budgeting session. Okay, so I want to now bring the controls. So that is where this option. So you have to please remember to make sure that you enable this option. Press Control A, right? And now the moment I enable that option, you are now seeing this option called specify credit limit. So now I can specify credit limit, where initially we had specified 2 lakh, and then we saw how Tally brings the control. Even in ERP, the experience is going to be the same thing. I'm repeating it. Okay, so let's say 2 lakh 50 is what we finally modified. Okay, now again this option is coming. This option will come only when you set the credit limit. Okay, override credit limit using post dated transaction. So you say yes, enter, control A, right? Now quickly I'll show you those warnings and how it stops here also. First, let's go and see the outstanding here. So I go to D for display, then S for statement of account, O for outstanding, L for ledger, India Mart, enter. So here again, 95,000 is outstanding. One bill is due, which is 1 day overdue. Okay, the second bill is going to be due only on 16th of December. My current date is 6th of December. Okay, so now we have to now pass. Let's say we are raising another invoice on 1st of January, like what we saw in Tally Prime. So you come back to gateway of Tally, go to voucher entry, sales is already there, and let's say you're going to do this on 1st of January. Now, as on 1st of January, both the invoices are going to be overdue. Okay, so I'm going to select India Mart, enter. You see here the same kind of warning that you are getting. Two bills of India Mart is outstanding, due date has exceeded. Okay, so you're going to get this India Mart. So it is just giving you the warning. And here again, if you see, Tally is giving you your current balance, which is 95, just now we saw, and it also gives you the credit limit. What is the credit limit that you have specified for this particular party, so that you know the credit limit while doing the invoicing. Okay, so I'm going to select my sales ledger, and again, let us say uh, Dell laptop i7. I'm going to select say three numbers. Okay, 225. It's fine. Okay, so I just want to show you that how Tally stops this. Okay, enter, 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 enter. New reference 19, and here if you see, it is automatically jumping. How is it so? Because F12, right? So here in Tally ERP, if you see, you have to be very careful in looking at this blue caption. So which means there are some F12 configuration which are provided here, and the configuration that you are looking for, if it is not available in your first screen, so it says press again F12 for more options. So you'll have to press another F12. You have to press another F12 for more options, right? So now, so what are we now looking? So in the first option, we want to say that allow modification or don't allow. That is the option that we are looking for. Now that option is not here. So which means now you press F12 again. And if you see here, under the other options, it says allow modification of all field during entry. Because this option is set to no, we are seeing from the reference number, the cursor is straight away going to the amount. It is not allowing the user to go and change the default credit period. Supposing if I make this as S, what happens? Obviously, we know that it will allow, right? New reference, and now see the cursor is gone here where it allows you to change. So let me leave this as it is. So what is that we want to see here? We want to now see whether Tally is allowing you or whether it is giving an error message because it is exceeding the credit limit. Error message, it says credit limit of India Mart is 2,50,000. With this invoice amount, your current balance will be 3,20,000, which is exceeding the credit limit. Right. So this is the kind of experience that you will get, both either you are using Tally Prime or Tally ERP. One important thing that you have to remember, that for you to get this credit limit field to specify the credit limit, remember that under F11 feature, under accounting feature, right? So we have this accounting inventory and all the thing. Under accounting feature, you have to make sure that maintain budgets and control option is set to yes. Okay, so I hope these four options uh, would have been clearer for all of you, and wherever possible, start using this. And in the next session, we will see another very interesting option under billwise detail. So billwise detail, we will have a couple of more sessions where we will cover the entire options features available under billwise detail. So in the next session we will see how can we play around with this bill wise detail? What are the options that are there which you can play around with this bill wise detail? And also we will see that if you remember in the introduction session in part 1, I had mentioned that there was this question which Tally asks. So if you come to F11 feature here, it says maintain bill wise detail. We said yes. For non-trading account also. So what is this non-trading account? We will try and understand in the next session, and we will also enable and then pass some transactions for better understanding, and we will see that how these options could be of help for your organization also. So thank you all once again for staying till the end. See you all uh, till the next session. Thank you very much.